The Western world, the Western world feeds us a pipeline to prison, reincarnating a system of slavery. Today we will learn the pipeline to success, and I will teach you that. Well, we'll try to teach you that. Hey everyone, it's Julian Ace, and welcome back to Julian Enlightens. Today we will be taking another step of getting you aligned with the highest version of yourself by using our history and our facts. Let's jump right into it. But before we do, if you can't even help yourself in your fried dopamine emitters to enlighten your path, then just come back to this video when you're ready because we really don't have time in today's society, especially with who's in office and who's coming into office and whatever, for you to be left without this information, because we all know that they're trying to ban your history from you. They're trying to ban this enlightenment from you. So come back to this video when you're ready. We don't have time to be wasting, okay? Don't even procrastinate. Just watch. I hate procrastination. I hate laziness. Just get it over. Just get it done. But if you're here, God bless you. Today we'll be slightly referencing a report from 1965, which interestingly enough, I would quote this and I put air quotations around this, mass incarceration started to skyrocket after this report was released on a massive scale. But it's really just the criminal justice system really expanded and kind of used the penitentiary system as the main form of discipline for Black men amongst the United States. But like I said, since Black history, of course, is being targeted, they're not necessarily going to teach you these things to improve the quality of life. It's going to have, it has to be voluntary. So with the things that I'm doing now, confirmation, Bert, but the things that I'm doing now, and of course, the path and the purpose that is going to be cultivated by you guys, whether you're teaching, writing books, following the desires of your heart. That's what God is calling you to do. The desires in your heart is exactly what you are supposed to be doing. And as you continue to do it, you inspire you inherently inspire other young Black people, and our culture will continuously shift and develop so we won't have to be in a stagnant place of oppression. And and a couple of things that I will talk about in this video today. The report that I will be referencing is called the Daniel Patrick Moynihan Report, 1965, The Negro Family, the Case for National Action. Now, in my opinion, this report uses a collages of research and draws back to a couple of essential things that I felt like it was necessary to talk about in today's video, which is the habit of Black Americans. We got to hold ourselves accountable sometimes. Hey, sometimes even men too, because that's who I'm talking to, Black men. The reliance of governmental aid and the breaking of the Black family unit. And we can actually start with the reliance of governmental aid / the breaking of the family unit. So that comes in the Social Security Act of 1935. And what is the relation to welfare and Black dependency? The way that I personally look at it, I think of it as aid. When you look at international affairs and you see all of these African countries that owe so much debt to American countries and these Western countries, right? Even when you think of Haiti, right? And, we had to pay for our own liberation. You're just that doesn't even make any sense, right? But it's kind of the same framework. And I don't think that the Western world is creative in their oppressive tactics. Once you fully understand what they do, it's kind of easy to move around it and cultivate a system of creation for yourself if you want to create wealth or education or anything that is a part of your desired reality. So, like I said, when you look at these countries and they're so dependent on America or in the United Kingdom, sorry, it's almost how did we even get here? You know what I mean? It's because of the reliance of governmental aid. The fact that African countries, with the amount of resources that they have so much more resources in terms of the stuff that we use here, like computers, phones. They have so much more resources than Americans have in their land and British people have in their land or whatever. But still, somehow they don't know how to leverage it to the point where we can utilize our own money and create a business surrounding that. But sometimes people feel like, we have to rely on governmental aid because that's what other countries are doing or that's what other people are doing. And it's kind of the same thing on a smaller scale. When we rely on government to buy our food, to pay for our homes, and, it kind of dims, not necessarily dims our light. I know I speak in like spiritual terms, but it kind of like lowers our way of viewing how we make our money. Though, like, for example, if we come into this world already thinking that we're less than, or we're not going to be able to pay for our homes or pay for our houses immediately, then we're not going to strive to make as much money. We're going to cap ourselves and our capabilities at, I need to just make enough for this month's rent. I need to make enough just for this month's mortgage. You know what I mean? It's not feasible, and it's not an ideal life for anybody to continuously depend on anybody for food, water. These things, we should be self-reliant on ourselves, okay? And that's one of the main things I feel like it's essential for us as Black people to understand. Like, we have to, even though governmental aid at this time in society is not necessarily a bad thing, I'm not trying to say it is a bad thing, and me saying this does not make me like anti-welfare, anti-aid, whatever. Because with our current social political climate, it's different than how it was introduced in 1935. You know what I mean? Back then, we were doing very well for us. Like why do you think they had to burn down Black Wall Street? Because Black entrepreneurs were doing so well financially for themselves, to the point where people were getting jealous. Like, people from other races were literally getting jealous. So they killed and destroyed all of these towns and Black businesses so that we can, again, stoop our education and stoop our mindset lower, so that we don't have to, necessarily expect as much, so that, again, we can rely on the government. That's not the inherent, like, the immediate reason, but like, it all boils down back to my point here. But but the thing about, like, government, the welfare specifically, like, it kind of intentionally breaks up the Black home. That's what I've noticed. Like, some of the rules in regards to, like, obtaining this aid within the family unit, mothers and fathers can't even be together. So you're telling me if a mother and father are together, Black mother and father are together, they're not even able to access governmental aid if they're married? Like, does that make any sense? And it feels intentional. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say, like, I don't want to guide my feelings, but think about it like that. If the Black family unit is the strongest thing in society that we have, like present mothers and fathers, which inherently act as a pipeline to success, even if we have some habits that align, in the pipeline to, like, bad habits or prison or something, inherently our present mother and father will guide us to the correct places that any human being needs to be in. Which is why, you realize, I'm not necessarily sure on, like, why, even when you think of, like, white Americans that aren't the richest, they kind of face the same problems. They kind of face the same problems as Black Americans. It's just something to think about. But yeah, I just want you guys to sit with that. Isn't it weird that there has to be a breakage within the household for you to obtain this governmental aid just so your food can be paid for? What does that have to do with food? You know what I mean? What does that have to do with any source of income? I mean, any source of water, house, homes. You know what I mean? Like, anyways, as I continue on, the report analysis kind of draws on the attention of also other bad habits of chronic idleness, addiction, and serious violence in urban areas. So some of the bad habits that I was kind of talking about earlier in the video refers to the chronic idleness within our community. And I kind of referenced this in my last video when I was mentioning, like, if you're just sitting on the block, not necessarily doing anything, and kind of scrolling on social media, and you're wasting time. Like, you're literally wasting time. And personally, me, like, I'm not gonna go too much into it on a governmental or political standpoint, but I feel like if you are wasting time, like, you're having some level of entitlement that God is gonna give you another day. You need to figure out your purpose. You know what I mean? Why are you here? I said in my last video, the chances of you becoming human are 1 in 400 trillion, which is like 0.0000025. You know what I mean? So what is your purpose? Like, you were created and placed on this earth intentionally for a reason. If you do not follow the desires in your heart and don't do it in front of the world, and you're, like just scrolling and wasting time just doing whatever, like, what is the purpose of, like, you're gonna be so sick, like, not physically sick, but you're gonna be feeling so bad once you're of old age and you have done nothing with your life and haven't completed what's truly in your spirit that wants to manifest on the outside. Because when you think about it, everything else is dead thought. That was an artwork that someone drew. That picture was literally in somebody's spirit, in somebody's mind. And someone said, I have to create this and share this with the world. So this artist, whoever it is, can now say, like, I have my artwork hanging up in millions of people's rooms. What about you? Don't you want to teach millions of students? Don't you want to usher in the new generation of Black people? Don't you want to continuously, like, influence people and show them the proper way so that they don't follow the same mistakes that you did? But instead, you're just gonna sit there and let your life, like, I don't know what this is. Like, why do y'all do that? Like, God created you, you know what I mean? So I want you guys to really fully 100% follow the desires of your heart. Do meditations. Look on Google. Look on ChatGPT. Even ChatGPT gives great advice, like eliminate self-doubt, eliminate fear. Do whatever you have to do to get yourself in front of any community to share your thoughts, share your ideas, whatever. People are assigned to you. Do you understand that? God created people to be influenced by other people. We cannot do this collective thing alone. We cannot do this human experience alone. We all inherently teach each other something. We have to learn from other people. So, yeah. The next thing I wanted to kind of talk about and kind of close this video on was, yeah, I think that was actually it. But yeah, this was the final thing. In this report, Daniel had called for an increase of social investment to avert problems of crime and poverty. But public policy turned a different direction by massively expanding the criminal justice system. So think about that. After this report was released, he said, guys, we need investments. We need communal investments so that we can teach the youth the right thing to do. And what did the government do? They just expanded the criminal justice system. So they invested more into the opposite of what this report was calling for. And the report, kind of explains what is needed for the advancement of the Black community. So do you really think that these people are rooting for you? I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't frame it like that, but think about it like that. They're not rooting for you, okay? No one, especially like if you're Black, like you technically, like if y'all ever seen Wicked, like I don't know if y'all seen Wicked, how like, I don't want to spoil it, but basically you can even tell in The Wizard of Oz, I'll say, how the Wicked Witch of the West is seen as this wicked person. But just know, if you're fighting for the right cause and if you're fighting for the advancement of your people, you're always going to be seen as a negative person by society, because this society is not for you. The society is for, like, this specific society in America. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about in Africa. And, I'm talking about the Western relation to Black Americans and Black people that exist within the society. So continuously think about that and let that like sink within your spirit. Do not allow people to consistently come in your mind and tell you that you're not worthy of creating your own business. You're not worthy of believing in yourself even, or even limiting the type of money that you can make. Don't feel like you have to settle with a 9-to-5. If you feel like continuously working for other people is not your calling, don't do it. Open your own shit. And I promise you, it is universal law. Like, it is, God has created the universe, and it is universal law. It is spiritual law that the more you put into something, you must reap the benefits of it. You must. It is a universal fact. So if you stick with something long enough, look, even if it doesn't come immediately, Sometimes we can look at stuff and it, we can say like, oh my gosh, this is not working. If it's not going to work, why should I even try? No. If it's not working immediately, that means your reward is greater. Your reward is greater. Like what you actually deserve is greater than because easy come, easy go. So if you're having some struggle initially with what you're cultivating, be grateful for those times. Even if you might fumble sometimes, learn from those mistakes and keep going. Don't sit up here and just be like, oh, I can't do it. I can't, because you can do anything. You have the Spirit of God inside of you, and anything is possible through God. And that's a fact. That's in the Bible. Anything is possible through God. You continuously pray and you do it in the spiritual realm first, meaning you pray about it. And prayer is the most important thing that I feel like is necessary as human beings, and especially as Black people. You continuously cultivate your relationship with God or the universe or whatever you believe in, your ancestors. Like, I don't even know. Like, it's up to y'all. But when you pray and you make it happen and you become a vibrational match to whatever you are praying for, and you do the actions, like you see it in your mind's eye, you feel the emotions. Think about it in a first person's perspective. Continues, like, for example, I'm thinking about Julian Enlightens. This is my YouTube channel, right? If I want a specific amount of subscribers, I'm going to envision myself having a specific amount of subscribers. And then I'm going to come back to reality as I feel those emotions in my meditation. I'm going to feel all of those emotions. I'm going to really, oh my gosh, this is really happening. Like, that's how delusional you have to be. Like, well, not delusional. It's not even about delusion. It's really about quantum physics. That's how it is. You become a vibrational match, because we are vibrational beings. Our heart is a magnetism, and our mind we are electromagnetic beings. Our mindset is electricity, and our heart is magnetism. So as you continuously cultivate, you meditate, you envision in first person how many subscribers you want, how much money you want to make, pray about it too, and then continuously move forward and actually do it in the physical realm as well, because now it's done in the spiritual. And there's 3 planes of existence. There's the mental, physical, and spiritual. With the spiritual, you just have to have trust, and you have to have faith that God will provide no matter what it's looking like in the physical. Like I said, this is all dead thought. So what I think about when I see like 2 subscribers, I'm just like, oh, this is just other people like projecting me not being successful. So I'm just gonna keep going, because I know that eventually my manifestation will be complete. Right? You guys should do the same thing. But like I said, when he did call for an increase, mass incarceration kind of happened. So it's really up to you in terms of how you're going to influence, because like I just said, if we're depending on government for aid and stuff, they're not going to help you cultivate the community that you desire. We're all, like, especially a lot of Black people, we're out here thinking, oh my gosh, the government is letting our community go to shit. Oh my gosh, the government's not doing anything. The government's not doing anything. The government is doing their job as a Western white society. The problem is you're not putting in the effort that it takes to change your community. You have to be the change that your community is looking for. The government is only going to invest in the white community because we are technically the wicked. You know what I mean? Like in that example that I had listed earlier. So you must be the person to follow the desires of your spirit, no matter how badly the oppression feels upon your spirit. Like, no matter how bad the oppression is on you and you feel like you can't do it, you feel like you don't believe in yourself, you cannot listen or follow these people and their framework for your life. You have to believe in the spirit that God has blessed you with, especially if you're an original person of this earth. Before anything else, there was the word, and then there was a couple other things that was the cultivation of the earth. But human beings, you are an original. You are an original. And God cultivated you, and our connection. I think, like I said in my last video, I think about our hair as like our antennas and our connection to God. We're the only race that has hair that defies gravity. You know what I mean? So think about that. Our connection to God is elite. They don't want you to connect to God. That's why they have movies with Michael B. Jordan that say dance with the devil. They don't want you to connect to God. They don't want you to manifest. They don't want you to do any of that shit. They want you to stay stagnant, and they want you to work for their corporations. Simple as that. Like, they know God exists. They just hope you don't believe that God exists. So the more that you continuously cultivate a lifestyle that doesn't surround your spirit or doesn't surround your connection to God, the more you will be aligned to being enslaved to a 9-to-5 corporation lifestyle. And that's probably one of the realest things that I have said, TBH. Like, seriously. But look, the world and the Western society will continuously cultivate policies that flow toward penitentiary correction instead of rehabilitative reconstruction, which, shout out to a person in my school, his name is Workina. He had created an organization called HU Prison Abolishment or Abolition, HU Prison Abolition, which focuses on rehabilitative restriction rather than just punishing Black people for in penitentiary correction. That's essential for us to actually learn how to integrate back into society and learn the habits that we need to have to cultivate a successful lifestyle. But if you're watching this channel, you're on the right path, and I really want you guys to believe in yourself. I want you to be the change that your community needs. If you feel like, if you have a problem within your spirit that you feel like is happening within your community, like, oh, they're doing this, the government's just doing this intentionally, that problem, it irks you for a reason. It is irritating your soul for a reason. That is a problem for you to solve. So I need you to cultivate a business mindset. There's a YouTuber, his name is Ashton CEO, and he is one of the best YouTubers on this platform because he consistently shows you how to cultivate a business mindset and also cultivate different businesses, and just watching his channel will help you get used to like a business mindset. But, it's not just about business, it's about following your spirit and solving the problems that you feel like are necessary to solve within your community. So be the change that your community needs. And I think that's the main point of this video. I really want you guys to be encouraged. And I don't want you guys to feel like that you're just, scrolling through social media every single day because you're wasting time. Do you actually want to be back? They're redoing and undoing all these court cases for a reason in the Supreme Court. They run the courts right now. I'm telling you right now. So it's not time to slack off. It's not time to slack off. And it's not time to sit up here and just scroll on social media all day because that's a distraction. And that's a distraction to you and your purpose. I didn't even want to record this video today, but I'm so glad that I did. Because now I know that this video will be out on the internet and it will influence another Black man, another Black woman, another person in society to move forward in their purpose. So instead of being idle and being addicted to things and being lazy, because when you are lazy, you're just privileged. And I know that sounds bad, but like, that's literally what it is. Like, you have too much time on your hands. You have too many, there's no time to be lazy. But yeah, cultivate the lifestyle that you want for yourself. And when your cup runneth over, share it with the people that you love and desire to have in your life. But you can do that by solving the problems that your spirit has an issue with. And that could be in your community. That could be the clean water in your community. You can solve that problem. Look, ChatGPT is an excellent resource. Just start with a simple Google search. You know what I mean? Try to look up how to solve the problems within your community and do it. It's possible. And I want you to pray on it. And when you pray, God will align things on your path that will give you the answer that you need. He will even align people to tell you the answer and to get you to point A to point B, to point B to point C. But it's a journey. It's not going to take 3 days. It's not going to take 3 weeks. It's going to be a journey. And the person that you will become will be an amazing manifestation of God. And that's how you act in your purpose. And I just want you to move forward in that. So with that being said, I am really grateful for whoever is watching this video. I hope you stay to the end. And yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me talk, and follow and subscribe for more Black history. I started a Instagram for this channel. It's at Julian Enlightens. so you guys can follow. It has 0 followers now, but I know that the right people will find it, just like the right people will find this video. So yeah, have a great night, you guys, and act in your purpose. Believe in yourself. I'll see you guys later.